Hey, welcome. Thank you for joining us today at the Union FC Indy Insider Podcast. Today we've got a really important topic to discuss. I've got Dan Kapsalis here with myself, Rob Klatte, and we're discussing the age group change that's coming up this starting this summer, and it'll be impactful to everyone across every club across the country. Yeah, U.S. Youth Soccer and AYSO and U.S. Club have all made a decision to go forward with making a change from birth year to grade year in school. And so this actually is a strange dynamic because, Danny, back in 2017, give it some background here, soccer was actually based in school year. It was actually kids born from August 1st through July 31st. And in 2017, U.S. Soccer came in with the goal of aligning us with the international game and helping our youth Olympic development programs match up with those other countries. And so they took us from a school year to a birth year. And since 2017, we've kind of run with that. And they've made a decision going forward to start in 2026 that they're going to go back to school year because there's a belief of they're hoping to get greater retention and participation, certainly at the older age groups, at U15 and beyond, and to reduce the number of trap players that there are. A trap player traditionally had been a player that was in 8th grade while most of their teammates had gone into 9th grade. What does that player do during the fall season when their teammates are in high school? And so the goal of this change in part is to help remove some of those trap player issues. So I think you were a part of clubs back in 2017 when this took place. What was the feedback then?
And anytime there's transition and change, it causes a lot of anxiety and some skepticism even. But it takes about a year for it to actually flush out. But when people are going through it initially, there's a bump in anxiety and what's happening with the teams and what's going on. This is going to be overall. Our idea here today is to kind of give you an idea what Union FC Indy is going to be doing and on our stance behind the policy of playing up, and we're going to talk about that here in a minute. But letting people know that this change is coming and we're embracing it and we're prepared for it, and we think it's going to actually strengthen our teams across the board, not just one or two, and there's no dismantling of teams. We're just going to be putting kids in their proper age groups, and they will, in that regard, strengthen our teams across the board.
But the real challenge is that there's change. There's going to be change coming up for every single team, every single age group. So effectively, here's for everyone watching this, if you're a parent or you're a child, you've been playing within a program where the players on your team were born in January through December of a single birth year. What's going to change now is you're going to have an age group is going to run from August 1st of one birth year. Let's use the 2012, what's going to be the U14 age group next year. You're going to have players that were born in August of 2012, August, September, October, November, and December of 2012. And they will be joining players born in January, February, March, April, May, June, and July of 2013. Those will be the children that will now make up what is going to be the U14 age group going forward. And so everyone, you've got 5 months of 1 year joining 7 months of another year. And those will be the kids that come together, coalesce, and create the new age cohort for the U14 age group. We have posted online the age group change and where those what the formation and matrix looks like and where that would put each child. So you can take a look at unionfcindy.org. You can take a look and see exactly what age group your child will fall in. That does mean that some children will advance and go from a U9 age group up to U10 next year. And it also means that some U9 players may stay and play in U9 again another year, just based on where the age cohort changes. So that creates some dismay, and I know that oftentimes there's people feel like, I don't want my child to be left behind. I don't want them they were just playing with some players, and now those players are moving forward, and my player is staying in the same age group. What does that mean? Danny, do you have any insight as to the rationale behind or the understanding of, hey, whether you're playing at U10 or U9 or U11 or U12, you're still playing?
Yeah, and you're playing now with like-minded players in that particular school year. So you're getting a chance to play. It's going to be a bit of a change. We're rotating coaches as well, so there's new voices going to be coming, and the age group is going to offer some change. But you're going to be playing with some new kids. But the age group, the way it's set up, Rob, like you said, the August through December kids now working with the younger January through May kids, it's going to be a nice blend. It's going to be a really nice blend, and we really feel strongly that, and every club is doing this across the country. It's not just us. This is mandated by U.S. Youth Soccer and the Federation. So everybody's in the same boat, and we're handling it in the best way we can to make sure that our teams are going to be stronger across the board. So it's really kind of an exciting change, I think. It is going to be a little bit of there's a speed bump anytime there's change, but right now we feel like this is an exciting change that's going to benefit a lot of our kids, and it may take a year before people see the fruition of it, but it's going to be a good thing.
I think one of the other things that's important to understand is that the oldest players in age groups previous to this were the players that were born in January, February, and March. And oftentimes they had an athletic advantage, they had a growth advantage. They were the oldest, especially when they were playing against players that were born in December. Right. Well, this age group change now has made the oldest players actually the ones born in August, September, and October, that first quadrant of the year. And the youngest players will actually be the players now born in May, June, and July. And so it's going to pose different challenges to players in that they're going to be combining with players that are all in their same grade at school, but where you fall into that mix. And early on at U9, U10, U11, that can be even more impactful than it would be as at the senior age group. So We've come off a town hall on this last Thursday night, where hopefully we were able to answer a large number of questions and everything for people. But additionally, we're always available. So if you've got individual questions about your child's situation, please feel free to reach out to your director of coaching. Please feel free, if they can't provide you the answer that you're looking for, you can reach out to myself as well. My contact information is on the website. But we want to make sure that everyone is comfortable and confident and understanding of what the change means for their child, for their team, and their overall playing experience. And our goal is to make it where we support your child's development to the fullest. We challenge them in ways to get them to both grow as people and as soccer players, and trying to make this as easy, as comfortable as possible, though we recognize that there will be challenges faced by every player and every team, because there will be changes. It's important that we recognize the rationale of U.S. youth soccer and U.S. club soccer and AYSO in making this change. Why have they done this to all of the programming that's underneath? And I think the reality is that they feel like there are social issues at play that were reducing the number of participants. And in part, what they've tried to do is they've tried to get players to be able to move into their to be able to play soccer with the players that they go to school with, their classmates, their friends. So now they're playing soccer with those exact people.
There's a big social piece to this change.
Without a doubt.
Sure.
And so one of the challenges, but we're already socially aligned with the teammates that we have. Right. But they're seeing that they want to put teams, they want to create teams that are based around the friendships that players have built within their school, within their classrooms. So that would be the major driver, is that social issue. But as we've brought up as well, we have trap player issues when you get to the U14 and U15 age groups, and you've got a drop-off of participation as we move through the U13 age groups and above. And they're hoping that the attachment with friends and classmates will retain some of that participation where people will stay and play because it's fun.
And we will also implement a couple of exceptions. You want to go over those exceptions, Rob? What Union FC Indy will be doing is what we'll explain that here. There are a couple of exceptions for certain players, and why don't we go into that a little bit?
So one of them is an advanced school placement. So if the point of this age group change, was to get players to be able to play and compete with players in their own school grade. And so one of the exceptions we're making is that if your child has been placed in an advanced school grade above what is their age group, we will allow that player to try out with that advanced school grade. And so let's say they started school early and they're in 7th grade, but their age group would put them in 6th grade. We would allow the player to try out with the 7th grade age group. It doesn't guarantee a team placement, but if the parents and the player would so choose, we'd be more than happy to have them be able to be around their peers that are of similar mental development and physical development and the people that they are engaged with on a daily basis. So that would be one of the changes, is to support, if you started school early, we'd allow you to try out with the older age groups. And then Danny, you want to go over the second, the impact player development policy?
Yeah, the second piece is we know that we will have some players that are the exception to the rule, meaning players who have the ability to move into an age group based on their technical ability, their tactical awareness, their physical ability, and their mental capacity and knowledge of the game and their approach to the game. So those are the 4 factors that we will look into. The coaches and the directors will decide if there is a player that we're calling an impact player. And that impact player moving into an older age, we need to have that player be in the top 20% of that particular team that they're moving into, an age group that they're moving into. So this will be an exception for certain players. They will be identified and talked to with the parents and the player to see if this is the right fit. But the coaches and the directors will be deciding which of those players meet those criteria and then effectively be evaluated to move into an older age group. And it'll be strictly done through the coaches. But there will be exceptions for some of those kids that qualify in those categories as evaluated by our staff.
It's important to recognize that it is the exception and not the rule.
Correct.
And those players have to be identified, not by the parents bringing their child forward to the directors, but effectively it is the directors in combination with the age group coaches evaluating players that play under their tutelage and effectively identifying the players, hey, this player is a standout player right now in their own age group. We're going to provide this player an opportunity to train with an older age group, and if that player can demonstrate that they're one of the top 3 to 4 players within that older age group, to the directors, to the coaches, we would then try to create some programming to support that player's development by being able to train and play with the older age group. At times, that might mean that they're playing and training with the older age group and still getting some time with their own age group
Correct.
as well. But each program, each individual impact player's programming will be developed and tailored to that individual specifically.
Right. And it has to be, when we say impact player, it has to be a player that will jump in and have an instant and immediate impact on that group. We're not going to bring players into an older age group that are just going to be squad players or rostered players. We don't want to jeopardize the younger team and put those kids in a place where they're getting playing time. So it's basically, the exception is for those kids that will jump on the field and have an impact. And we do have some of those for sure. And the coaches will determine those kids, and we'll make those adjustments accordingly.
And Danny, it's important that everyone recognizes that impact players are going to be evaluated on an annual basis.
Yes.
That their placement on a team for 1 year will not influence or impact their placement in future years. And so this is definitely, I'm sure, something that some people will be like, hey, can I get identified? Hey, is my child one? And as I said, this falls on the staff, this falls on the directors and the age group coaches to identify those players and come to the families with that programming. Our goal is to create the best pathways and developmental pathways for all of the players that play within the program. And we want to make sure that we're challenging the players physically, mentally, to develop to their fullest. And we understand that you've got to place players in environments where they can gain confidence and at the same time be challenged. And so we're hoping to be able to do that for every player.
And philosophically, we talk to a lot of parents and a lot of coaches, and we want to make sure that we reiterate that this is a youth development organization. Yes, we keep score. There is winning associated with what we're doing. But if we're focused on the bigger picture, bigger vision of the development, putting kids in the right places, moving a kid into a different age group if necessary, and the kid qualifies, we will do that. But the whole goal is to make sure that we're doing proper development overall. It's a marathon approach, not a sprint. It's a long-term approach to how you develop players. And while there might be some changes going on and it might look a little bit different here in the near future, the overall vision is always about development. And if you develop properly, the winning and those results come as a byproduct of that process. So that's what we're always focused on.
Danny, I think I'd like to end today with a recognition that the excitement about our ability of going forward. Right now, Union FC Indy is a place where we are deeper in most age groups than we've ever been. We've got more travel soccer players than we ever have. We have built now programming that goes from U5 through our U18 age groups. And we feel like we are very well situated to deal with these changes. We feel like the exceptions that we've put in place will allow our players to be properly positioned to be able to be challenged and maintain their growth and their ability to develop. And at the same time, we feel that we have the depth of talent to be able to ensure that teams can compete on a regional and national level, as well as have teams that compete within the state of Indiana and hopefully have a wonderful experience of playing soccer and developing as both people and soccer players.
Yeah, it's we're positioned very well, and it's an exciting time. And just watch it morph. Everyone be patient. Watch the process. And it'll all work out. But we're in a very good situation, very good position, and we're really excited about what's coming.
Thank you.